evening, conference. Good evening. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Quite a protest outside. Must be that inclusive, diverse, welcoming Leicester I've heard all about. You know, I was thinking on the way here, what am I going to say? I've got 15 minutes. They've given me 15 minutes. And one of them backstage, they said, listen, Professor, whatever you do, don't bore them with your statistics. I said, well, you know what? We could talk a lot tonight about what is wrong with Britain. We could talk about the immigration numbers, which are absolutely bananas. Net migration of nearly 1 million people. We could talk about the fact that of the 2.5 million people who came into Britain in recent years, guess what percentage came in on a worker visa? 15%. 1-5. We could talk about how mass immigration is actually making this country poorer, not richer. Even the Office for Budget Responsibility now admits that every low-wage, low-skill migrant coming into Britain is costing the British taxpayer between £150,000 and £1 million over the course of their lifetime. We could talk about the small boats. Up 25% on last year. More than 150,000 illegal migrants entering Britain, breaking our laws, treating the British people with contempt, undermining our claim to be a self-governing, independent nation that protects the British people and our children. I thought I could talk about the economy. Big tax, big regulation, big debt, low growth, the fact that we're about to enter a recession, the fact that the Labour Party are lying to everybody about what they were planning to do before they won the election. We could talk about the fact they've just taken winter fuel payments off pensioners to save £1.5 billion, but at the same time we're paying £5.4 billion on our broken asylum system. It's absolutely bananas. And then I could talk about the fact that we can't seem to deport any foreign national criminals who are breaking our laws in this country. The latest one was the Albanian burglar who spent New Year's Eve celebrating in a London nightclub. He'd already been convicted of burglary, and he wanted to taunt the British state by making videos on TikTok. We can't deport him because he's applied for asylum, and he's using the ECHR to stay in the country. It's absolutely bananas. It's absolutely bananas. And I thought I could just sit here tonight, stand here and talk to you about what's wrong with Britain. But then I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Because this will become the biggest collective therapy session this country's ever known. I thought, I'm going to build on what Nigel Farage mentioned in his New Year message. I'm actually going to be optimistic about the future. And I'm going to try and convince you that when you leave tonight, you should feel optimistic about 2025 and the next few years. Now, what are some of those reasons? Well, let's look at America for a start. We're about to see the return of somebody who is going to take on the deep state, who is going to control his country's borders. Who is going to bring down immigration? Who is going to tackle woke ideology? Who is going to root out the obsession with diversity, equity, and inclusion from all of our public sector institutions? And I think Trump really does matter, because 5 years from now, or 4 years from now at the next general election, when people say in this country you can't deport illegal migrants, people will be able to say Donald Trump did it. You can't get rid of woke ideology from the institutions. Donald Trump did it. You can't stop teaching our children that little boys can become little girls and little girls can become little boys. Donald Trump did it. You can't take on the deep state. You can't replace the managerial class. Donald Trump did it. There's going to be a really important watershed moment in Western politics. And look across Europe. The mood is exactly the same. Millions of people rallying behind anti-establishment political parties that are saying enough is enough. We don't want mass uncontrolled immigration anymore. We don't want our borders to be porous, to be open to people who we don't know. We don't know what they believe. We don't know where they're from. We don't know why they're coming. We don't want our children being told that they should be ashamed of the countries that they come from, that they should be ashamed of their history and their heritage and their cultural inheritance. And you can see it here too. Let's be honest. You can feel the energy. Energy never lies. There is something happening out there in this country. You can feel it. That's why we're here tonight. That's why we're here. This party polled 14% at the general election a little over 5 months ago. It's on 25% in the national polls today. 25%. This party won 5 seats at the general election a little over 5 months ago. According to the latest poll yesterday, it's going to win 120 seats in the House of Commons. Because something is happening out there. And to people who say, well, the idea that Nigel Farage might become Prime Minister, the idea that Reform could win the next general election is for the birds. I'm here to tell you, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. We've just gone in 5 years from a big Conservative majority to a big Labour majority. That tells you something. It tells you that the people out there are restless. They're not tribally loyal to the old parties anymore. They're looking for change. They're looking for a revolution to join. They want to take on this system. They want somebody to address the problems that they are having to deal with day by day, but the elite class in this society never has to deal with the consequences of. So something is about to happen. And I think it's going to take a lot of people by surprise. You can even see it in the debate we've had over the last week on social media, the big debate about grooming gangs. What I call them, I just call them the rape gangs. And I was looking at legacy media journalists, some of whom are in the room today, complaining about Elon Musk talking about this issue. I have a message for the legacy media. If you'd been doing your job, if you'd been pursuing truth, if you'd been looking at what is happening in this country, we wouldn't need Elon Musk to intervene. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. Elon Musk has done us a favor because now the truth is unavoidable. It's not about who said it first. It's about how we bring about change in this country to make sure that our children are protected and defended. And I can tell you this much. There was only one party at the last general election that was saying openly and proudly that it would deport dual nationals in this country convicted of the grooming of children, and that was the Reform Party. I'm just going to say it as it is. If you rape our kids and you've got dual nationality, you should be thrown out of our country. Here's what I think we should do. I think we should do exactly what the Reform Party has said and what Nigel Farage said on X to Kemi Badenoch, I think only 2 days ago. We need a full national inquiry into this issue. We need to start naming and shaming public sector officials who turned a blind eye, who didn't take this issue as seriously as they should. We need an inquiry. We need to deport dual nationals. And this is my personal opinion, not the opinion perhaps of the Reform Party, I don't know. But I think we should have a monument in the heart of Westminster, like we have monuments for Grenfell or Windrush, a monument to the victims of the grooming gang scandal, so that the ruling class in this country the people in the corridors of power, forever have to be reminded of their failure, their consistent failure to protect and defend our children. So look, don't leave here tonight and feel pessimistic about the country. Feel optimistic. A revolution is coming. Change is coming. Millions of people like you are out there joining this political party. 166,000 people have become members of Reform. It's enormous. The polling is changing day by day. So let's leave tonight. Yes, we're worried about our country, but we are optimistic about the change that is coming. Let's do that change. Let's deliver that change together. Thank you very much.